News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Ready or not, it's the first day of school.
School days, dear old golden road.
Well, good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, August 26, 2015. First day of school for School District 1. Don't forget that hickory stick. There you go. It's 57 degrees, but the bad news is air quality is unhealthy throughout western Montana, listed anywhere from unhealthy to very unhealthy. There is an air quality alert. And our newscast this morning, sponsored by Dig It Excavating, bringing 30 years of excellence to every job. Call 214-4292. Well, our top story, of course, school is in session this morning. School buses will be running, ferrying children all over town. Missoula County School District 1 Superintendent Mark Thane says the school system is expecting more students this year than last.
We anticipate welcoming about 8,900 students into Missoula County Public Schools. Of course, we have worked hard with parents and with the teaching staff as well as our support staff to ensure that we get the year off to a great start. We're really looking forward to having kids settle into a routine and wishing nothing but the best for the 2015-16 school year. Although the overall number of students is expected to increase, Thane says it'll be a while until we see significant student increases up in the high school. We're anticipating being up again slightly. For the past 4 years, we've averaged about 100 student growth in our elementary buildings. We expect our high school enrollment to remain somewhat static for a couple more years before those enrollment increases hit the high school level. Many schools will be having back-to-school nights this week, so parents and teachers can speak one-on-one. Speaking of schools, Missoula Police will be keeping a close eye on kids in school zones. Spokesman Travis Welsh said both two-wheel and four-wheel traffic will be heavy near school zones today.
With school starting up again, I have lots of vehicular and pedestrian traffic, making sure those kids get to school, and kids are going to be walking through neighborhoods, hitting the crosswalks, and potentially in areas of risk, and we'd like people to be vigilant and watch for those youngsters as they make their way to and from school. Wells said extra patrols will be out near the schools this week. You will see police officers out patrolling those areas, trying to make sure that those kids are safe as they are getting back to school in the morning. High schools start their terms tomorrow. An inversion holding heavy smoke over western Montana is robbing wildfires of oxygen and preventing the sun from heating up ground fuels, helping firefighters make progress on fire lines. Fire Information Officer Bob McGregor says the days of lesser activity also get them closer to anticipated fire season-ending weather. Residents near Essex remain under an evacuation advisory as a fire that's burned nearly 1 square mile remains about a mile away from the town on the southern edge of Glacier National Park. Air quality in much of Missoula and the rest of Montana is abysmal, but air quality specialist Kristen Martin with the Department of Environmental Quality in Helena says Libby has suffered the worst.
We're definitely seeing the worst impacts kind of in far western Montana. In the Libby area, we had hazardous air pollution last night. We're also seeing concentrations climb in the Flathead Valley, Hamilton, and Missoula areas as well. We've seen concentrations kind of hover right below hazardous concentrations in Frenchtown and Missoula, so we're definitely at the high end of very unhealthy right now. Although most Montana towns aren't facing hazardous air quality just yet, the smoke is creeping eastward. They definitely are seeing some smoky skies. The smoke hasn't settled down to the ground level yet on our monitors in Sidney and Broadus, and we're starting to see some impacts in our Malta and Bernie monitors today. So the smoke is starting to settle there, but it's certainly the air quality is better than we're seeing in western Montana. Martin says she's hopeful a shift in the winds this weekend might change the course of some of that smoke. Smoke from various wildfires has settled in the Missoula and Bitterroot valleys, definitely affecting health. Air quality specialist with the Health Department, Sarah Cofield, has some examples.
A lot of the irritation in your throat and your eyes, that's coming from the chemicals in the smoke, the volatile organic chemicals, tends to be what irritates you, and that can cause some headaches.
Cofield said there may be some temporary relief from the smoke, but it won't last long.
Hopefully it will clear out as this high-pressure ridge we're sitting under breaks up later this week, but we're downwind of a lot of really, really active fires. And those fires aren't going out until there is a major weather event that comes through and puts them out, and that might be snow.
Air quality in Missoula is currently listed as unhealthy to very unhealthy. A 52-year-old man accused of threatening his wife and stepdaughter with a hatchet during a camping trip has pleaded not guilty. The Missoulian newspaper reports that David Paul Allen was arraigned yesterday at Missoula County District Court on 2 felony charges of assault with a weapon and 3 other misdemeanor charges. Police say on July 31st, Allen opened his wife's tent at a campsite at Crees Pond and shot bear spray at her. 2 other campers were also hit with the spray. He then hid from his stepdaughter behind a vehicle before jumping out and hitting the car with a hatchet repeatedly. Officials say he then swung the hatchet at his daughter. Police say alcohol was involved. He's in jail on $50,000 bond. Missoula City Council got their taxable value numbers from the Department of Revenue this week. And Chief Administrative Officer Dale Bickle explains the good news that came from that report.
Part of Revenue's job is to certify our tax base. Part of that tax base is the value of new construction. We get new tax revenues without a mill levy increase. For this year, we received values that were higher than we anticipated in our original budget. We had estimated about $345,000 in new revenue from tax-based growth, and the number came in at about $452,000.
Bickle says it's great news because now City Council can reduce the amount of levies that were originally planned during the budget process. Furthermore, instead of a 5.7% tax increase, it'll only be 4.7%.
While it is positive, we are only at half of the growth that we had seen prior to the recession. If we continue to see the development level activity we see before, it'll certainly help out a lot in being able to keep our tax levels down.
To see development figures for fiscal year 2015 compared with 2014, you can visit our website at newstalkkgvo.com. On Monday this week, Missoula police, in pursuit of an outstanding warrant, ended up issuing charges to what appears to be an entire household. Here is Public Information Officer Travis Welsh.
Well, I can't say it was a whole family, but 5 people in a residence were arrested yesterday afternoon about 2:30 for outstanding warrants and obstruction of justice. 2 people were found to be hiding in the house, and the other 3 were attempting to conceal them. One of those 3 had also an outstanding warrant.
2 had warrants of around $20,000, but one woman had a $50,000 warrant.
Newstalk, KGVO.
Missoula's official.
Well, I'm sure you public will want to hear about that. So let's get Travis's report on that. Go ahead, Travis.
The people arrested were 22-year-old Devin Leistico, 41-year-old Pam Leistico, 44-year-old Richard Leistico, 26-year-old Michael Brooks, and 45-year-old Teresa Larson.
Nearly everyone involved faced felony charges. News Talk Time 6:12. Now we can do the weather.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Smoky sunshine today with our highs in the upper 80s. Overnight lows will be mild as we drop into the upper 50s. Isolated showers and thunderstorms return to the forecast on Thursday, with highs in the low 80s by the end of the week. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.